Hello everyone, this is my farming tutorial channel. I'm Small Nap, who always need a nap. I just had a very good nap and I decided to create this tutorial about more topics and logics about farming games. So today I'm going to talk about time system. Previously I decided to do plants, which is also crops, logic first. But as you know, crops have to grow based on time. That's why I have to do time system first. And I know a lot of people are interested in time systems and what I'm, dealing with time systems. Okay, so today's agenda, I'm going to introduce this way. I'm going to use this kind of PowerPoint to make you understand well, because most of my tutorials are related to logic stuff. So I want you to understand well and to learn something for real, not just like for fun, right? So today's agenda, first, I want you to understand what time structure your game needs. I mean all games like farming games or simulation games, they need time system, right? But what kind of time structure you need to understand that before you started everything. Second, I want to start from the simple version, which is a very basic version, including seconds, minutes, and hours. Then we can improve it or optimize it to include more features or stuff. So like in Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, that's my game. That's my game's idea coming from. And also I'm a huge fan of those two games. That's why I'm super familiar with their structures, and also I have some design of my own. So they have to include weekdays, definitely from Monday to Sunday, or from Sunday to Saturday, whatever you need. Seasons. So in all those farming games, we have a very simple season system, which means each year have 4 months, 4 seasons. So month one, or you don't have to call it January. So month one equals to spring, right? So so on and so on. And day, months, year. So here months, we have to have this variable again to get a like a equation relationship to seasons. So seasons are strings, right? But they have index, which will be equal to month with some calculation. I'll introduce later. And day and also year, because each month will have 28 days in my game. That's why I want to introduce this way, because 28 days are very simple to use as a whatever a beginner or experienced developer, because 28 days means 4 weeks per month, and your calendar, your all other calculations will be super easy to handle, and you don't have to struggling about that. And that's why I recommended 28 days per month. But whatever, you can put your ideas in it, right? Like I said at the last point. And month is, which means 4 months is equals to 1 year. 1 year. And for year, basically year are endless. You have no limit number here. As I know, some people in Stardew Valley, I mean players, they play that game like crazy. They have like more than 100 years. That's doable actually. But yeah, for that part, you don't have to put a limit on it, unless you have like a very specific storyline to limit your game. For example, like in year 5, all the game's stories will be ended, something like that. But otherwise, if it is a simulation, like a very free, flexible game, you don't have to put a limit on year. And then yeah, put your ideas in it after you watch this video. I hope you learned something. Okay, so let us start from the first point, time structure. So like I said, Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, they share similar system. They have slightly different things, I guess, but they share also mostly same things. So for years, no limit. Months, like I said, kind of equally to seasons. 7 days per week, 28 days per month, 24 hours per day, and I'm using 24 hours time standard. You can also use 12 hours, but I recommend 24 hours, easier to calculate. And the minutes, for sure 60 minutes per hour, and also 60 seconds. Oh, I didn't put here 60 seconds. 1 minute. You have to have a very detailed design before you're ready to develop your time system. And also some special thing you may not notice. I didn't notice those things before I really started my game. So first, do you need this AM or PM? In my game, I put this feature in. So why I did this? Because I'm using 24 hours and I want people to know their in-game time directly, like at first glance. So I don't want them see, okay, now the time is 13 something. So some people, basically it prevents players from understanding the time instantly. I don't want that. I want player to understand what situation they're in instantly. So I in-game time displaying if it's 13, which will display 1 p.m. Okay, that's good. So that's a small feature. Maybe you understand that more. And then second one is called I call that minutes interval. Maybe you didn't see that before, but which is super simple. For example, if now is 7 o'clock and 8 minutes, right? AM, whatever, AM, PM. My display will show this 7:00 because it's not 7:10 yet. You got my point, right? In this feature, maybe you don't have to put that, but I recommend you to do this after you get familiar with the whole system, which means you already got your ideas to work on. Why I put this here? I want to explain this because I think it's very helpful for you guys in the long run. So if you put minutes, I mean every minute change in your your display, that will cause one problem that I don't like, which is player will always see the number, the minutes number change, because in-game time always faster, super faster actually, faster than real world time, right? Which means this minutes will change very frequently. That's the point I want to explain. That's not good, because sometimes you want people to forget the time in game. I'm sorry to say this. It's kind of like it's not good, I think, but it's good for a game developer. You want your player to get addicted to the game, to the content you build. That's why don't make the number change too frequent. But the time will fly, right? You have to change the number ultimately. That's why I said put this interval. So every 10 minutes you change that. That means for the time here, you always say 7:00, 7:10, 7:20, and etc. That means you you give your player more time to focus on the thing they're working on, they're playing on, and don't distract them, because people's eyes are very sensitive about changes in the screen. I think you definitely understand that. I hope you agree with me, but that's my logic here. I want to teach more or share more experiences with you. That's why I mentioned this. And the third one you may not notice is that what time flow speed you want. I mean, compared to real world time, right? I forgot the real number for Stardew Valley. It's like something like every 7 minutes in real world, I think, equals to 1 hour in game. Maybe I'm wrong. I forgot, but something like that. So you need to know what ratio you want, what time. So this ratio is called time flow speed in my theory, right? So in my game, right now I set up as 80, but I will show you later what that means, because it's related to process time. So I'll explain more. Let us build our basic version time system. So usually for this stuff, I'm going to create just a simple node. You can call it time system. So in this way, when you just hold on, let me save this node first. So for this type of a node, because they are singleton, so I call them global. Usually I have a folder called global to save this kind of node. So for the first simple version, we need, you can call that int second. So for the beginning, we just want second start from 0. And also I want minute 0, hour 0. Okay, wow, that's simple, right? We already have all the variables we need. Oh no, actually one more thing is that I want to put a constant default time speed, which is the time speed you will use at most time in this game. I mean, player will use in this game, sorry. It's 80. You can play around with this number later. It's totally changeable. And I use this because it works well for my game, and I feel like the time flow is perfect for my game. And one more variable called time speed. Yeah, so this is just a default, like a constant. But this variable will always save the time speed in use right now. I can call it 82 to start. And the func ready. So whenever this node, I'll add this to autoload the singleton later. So whenever this node loaded to I mean, ready means whenever this node added to the tree, we'll do something here, right? So whenever this ready, we will set time speed to default, just to make sure the time speed is is not like it's not mass, it's not a chaotic situation. So you always want to make sure that you have a good time speed in use. Then we definitely need this, which is process. This delta, which will equal to a very small number. I forgot the specific number, but you can search that online. Very simple. Basically means I remember it's like something like that. I forgot, but I'll add that later. Okay. Anyway, so in this process, we need to calculate our time. Okay, if because we have time speed, right? If time speed greater than 0. Why put this? Because if you want to pause the time in the process, time should not calculate it. I mean all other variables should be stopped. So that's why I put here. So whenever time speed greater than 0, we need to calculate time. So second, we always start from second for sure, because that's our very basic variable, right? So I want to, no, I don't need to do this first. I need to call floor, which will return the closest smaller integer of the number in here. So delta time speed, multiple time speed, right? So that means we speed up real world time by this multiplier, and we got an integer, but sometimes this return something weird. I didn't know why. That's why always put integer to make sure this second will be plussed with an integer, not by some floating number, right? Then minute, well, we don't have to do plus, because second will always increase, and minutes will always calculate it based on the second we have right now. So second, even though we know second is integer, but to prevent from further bugs that you may not know, I always put integer just in case. Just in case. You don't have to do this, but you will know if some weird bug happen, and then you can do this to prevent them. And we use. I hope you understand that we use this to get a reminder, right? That means in the second variable we have right now, how many 60 seconds already had. Let me do a very simple math. For example, if right now we have 60 seconds, so how many minutes we have? We do this, which will equal to 1, because it can be perfectly divided. That's why you got 1 minute, right? But if you get 61 second, the number always 1, because right now you always have 1 minute, right? Okay, cool. This is very simple math. You will definitely understand that. I just don't have to do this. But anyway, totally same thing, right? But instead of use minute, I recommend use second, because second is always our first reference. So we put something similar here. We just copy paste here. Do this. We always use second, right? I put this here because it's easier to understand why the number is 3,600, but you don't have to. You can put 3,600 directly, right? And then here you shouldn't have 60 because it's hour, right? It's hour, so you have to put 24. And then I think we are all set for the basic version. Right now, if you start the game, I shouldn't call it game because it's only a time flow stuff. But if you add this to singleton, let me do that real quick. Global, see? So here, if you choose script, that's not good. Always choose this node, which is a very time-saving tip you will notice in the near future if you choose to develop your game. Very tricky stuff for Godot. You call whatever you call it. You can call time, the shorter the better. That's always the philosophy for programming, not only game. So you see, okay, our global name is time. Now we want to test it, right? If you only run it, you won't test anything, right? We just want to build a very simple interface based on the time system you have already. So let us do this. You don't have to worry about the format here. We have a lot of other features to improve, but you can just use a very simple one to start. String, because test always accepts string, not integer. That's why you have to put this time. That's the global, the singleton you have. Time, hour, right? Hour, yeah, hour. We have that. Okay, let me. I'm kind of lazy, so let me copy paste that. Minutes, seconds, minute. Okay, in this way, it will update every delta to the labels we have. So we can start this. As you can see, that's based on the time speed I'm using, which is multiplier is 80. We have a deluxe version of the time system, which is the system I'm using right now. Of course, it contains more not difficult, complex code in my time system, but for the general ideas I already shared here. Okay, now for the deluxe, we want to add day, month, year, and this loop logic first. Sorry, I should put this in front of this first to make sure they are separated. And then we add those special stuff to make you excited. Okay, let's go back to Godot. Let's go back to time system. Now we need to add day, start from 0, export, and month. Okay. Year from 0. Sorry, year should start from 1 and day from 0. Sorry, I forgot that. Then special thing is that day, month, year are based on every day's logic change. So it is not based on the process here. That's why we have to add something new, which means we have to add a function called, you can call it refresh day, whatever name you want, or start new day, whatever. So in this new day, you need reset 0. Minute to 0, hour to 0, and then day plus 1, because a new day coming and you need to update your day variable. And then here a special logic, current month should end below. Is that if day equals to 29. So you can play with this if you want 30 days per month or 31 days per month, whatever, but I use 28 days. That's why if after they added a new number, it becomes 29, which means we already have 28 days, right, in the last month. So we need to update month too. Month. day will be reset to 1, and also second hour minutes will be 0. And then we need to add another one here, is that only when current month ended, and also this month is the last month of the year, so you have to calculate the year, right? For the last month of year, calculate, no, not calculate, reset, sorry, deal with year. If month 5, right? Because we have 4 months, right? That's very simple to understand. And year will add 1. And then month reset to 1. Add something here. So, okay, we need one more variable, which called day processed. False, start from false, because if that's just my design, so you don't have to do this. So which means if hour equals 0 means that is midnight, right? Midnight, and they didn't get processed. False. And time speed is greater than 0. We want to start a new day. And then after that, if hour get changed to after greater than 0, we want to set up day processed to false again. And don't forget to put day processed here. Oh, it's true, which means every time when midnight and we didn't process this, day process variable in here, okay, we'll go to this function. And in this function, we change this to true, even though the hour is still 0, right? It will go back here and say, okay, it's true. You don't have to start a new day. Go below and update everything. And after hour greater than 0, you can update day process to false again, right? Because you don't have to check that again. Okay, I hope you understand that. And now we use this super fast speed to test again. See, the day is growing, like we said. We should have 28 days, and then month should add 1 more. See, year get updated correctly. Okay, great. Let's stop that. Now let me change it back to 1000. Too fast, right? Let me get back to slides. What do we want to add? Okay, we want to have weekdays, AM, PM, seasons, minute intervals, right? Let's go from weekdays, okay? I would like to copy this to make sure we have this reference. So you should always have this as a constant weekdays, right? You can name that based on your game, but I will use this, and every week start from Sunday. Then we should have one string variable weekday to see this export equals something means we have a default value. Okay, so for sure for the game you started from fresh. All of those are the number you want, but we will have saving and loading system in future, so which will override those if you already have a save file. And anything else we want? Okay, I would like to introduce a small trick called weekday counter. That's an integer. So take care of this. We start from 0, which is the index of Sunday in this array. Okay. So in the time updating, weekday. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't put this here. So weekday only changed in when the day get changed, right? We should add a weekday counter. Sorry, we shouldn't put it here. We always should put that after the whole start new day function ended, like here. So the counter should be equal to let me see, int day 7, same logic, right? -1, you should have put this here because I want the weekday counter start from 0 to corresponding to the position in this array. And you have this. And then we just update weekday variable to equals to weekdays array weekday counter. You got the string, the new string every day. And next thing is, let me see, next thing is seasons, right? I remember. Seasons. Okay. We have 4 seasons, constant. And seasons are related to months, like I said previously, right? So month is always updated here. So we only need to update season here. So we don't have to deal with, sorry, I should put a new variable here called export string variable season. Start from spring. And the season always get updated when current months end, right? Seasons, which is so simple, right? Month minus 1. And okay, we get season down. Next one should be AM and PM. That's simple. We should have this as a reference too. And then we should have this here. You can have a variable called whatever you want to call it. I call it splitter. Start from AM. And this logic is also very simple. Splitter get updated based on AM, PM. So it only have the index 0 and index 1, right? So you should put base hour divided by 12. That means if hour smaller than 12, that means it's 0, right? If hour greater and equal than 12, you get number 1, which means PM. Oh, next one is simple too. Minute interval. Put constants here. Export string interval equals to start from this. Yeah, time interval got updated correctly, and it's too slow to see others. Let me move faster. See, AM PM get updated so quick, and I just want to see the season change correctly. Tutorial today, more to come. Next episode will include crops logic and how to handle status change. Okay, if you like my video, please subscribe and click like or share with your friend. Thank you so much.